In law school, I recall a professor once saying there was such a thing as the stupid defendant rule. In other words, the defendant would act in such a way that you had no empathy for them, no sympathy for them whatsoever, and it often led to an appeal that then led to some sort of precedent. You cannot infect someone, and you can't even threaten to do it. And we have had cases in a very serious way where transmission of HIV, if it was knowingly done, is a level of criminal offense in and of itself. But this is the stupid defendant rule in action. Tell me about
And
it, please.
since we've just been talking about felons, I'll say it's the felony stupid case. Remember that? We learned that in law school too.
Uh,
If you are stopped for a traffic infraction, the worst thing you can do for yourself is to assault officers claiming you have COVID-19 in order to bump those charges up to a felony. That's probably where the felony stupid came from.
mhm.
And this has been happening. I hate to say it, Jeff. I wish there was just one case I could give you, but in cases across the nation, and it has been sometimes when people are stopped for something innocuous like speeding, running a stop sign, claiming to have the virus and coughing on officers is never the way to go. And we've also seen, and this has changed just a little bit over the years, but it has always been a crime to intentionally infect somebody else with a communicable disease. You are correct that we heard a lot about it after AIDS and HIV. We're hearing about it now. But one of the questions legally that's fascinating to civil lawyers and plaintiffs' lawyers is, let's put the criminal law aside for a minute, because you need intent or a criminal level of recklessness. What if you claim that somebody didn't tell you they were COVID-19 positive, for example? Remember, you and I talked about that guy that flew on JetBlue after having tested positive and didn't tell anybody? Does that give his fellow passengers or anybody that's around him a cause of action in the future if they knew that he knew he had it and didn't take any precautions whatsoever? The tricky part there, as you might imagine, is proving causation. There are so many people out and about, Jeff. Sometimes I drive down the road going to the store or someplace I'm allowed to go,
Mhm.
and it's jam-packed traffic. You wouldn't think that anybody's under a stay-at-home order. If that's the world we live in when we're supposed to be being careful, it is very difficult for anybody civilly to be able to prove where they picked it up.
Certainly, when you mention the flight or going through an airport, you go through all manner of people, back and forth. And I recall that just a few weeks ago, I would come to work in the morning and the convenience store I would pass on the way, it looked closed, it looked like nobody was even there. And now, as people are getting cabin fever, more and more are coming out all the time. So again, you have no idea. Causation is such a key in those civil cases.
Unless you were on the Grand Princess, and those lawsuits are still piling up. Unless you were in a closed environment for over 2 weeks, it's going to be hard to figure out where you got it.
But above all, it is not smart, even if you are intoxicated, to suggest to the officer that you need to be let go because you're going to otherwise transmit the COVID, as they are calling it.
That's right, and that's what this man did in Chicago, and that's why he's in the headlines today. And I just hope that people are listening and realize this is not a way to ever get out a ticket. It's simply a way to make your misdemeanor drunk driving charge now a felony battery charge. Not smart.
Not smart at all in any respect. Thank you so much, as always, for the time. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Jeff. I'll see you next time.
All right. Be well. Thanks now.
Bye.